Right, we're live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for the very first game we are covering of the Women's Rugby League World Cup. We have been doing a few of the men's matches, and now we are here for the women's competition starting on a Wednesday morning, 6 a.m. New Zealand time. This matchup should be a very entertaining one, I should say. Papua New Guinea in action up against Canada. And Papua New Guinea, they have never won a game at the Rugby League World Cup, yet they close in as $1.01 favourites in this game up against a Canadian side that beat them in the last Women's Rugby League World Cup. So it just shows how far they have come in such a short amount of time. And they will be looking forward to going out there trying to replicate what we've seen from the Kumuls in the men's department. They have made their way through to the quarterfinal where they will be taking on England. The women's side, they actually have England in their group stage. So the question is, will we see them make it as far in the comp? We certainly should, I think. But we'll have to wait and see. Looking through at the Orchids side, it is going to be at Malawea at number 17 for this game. Butler Wasamun, she is a dangerous player from what I have heard. I haven't actually seen this Papua New Guinea side in action, though, which is very exciting news for myself, as this will be the very first time I get to see them. Shelley Long at number 4. Then also it will be Lisa Marie Alu, Sirakaroi, and also Malabag as number 7. Albert, Aiton, Kalpa, Vavas, Banu, and also Ravu will be in this Papua New Guinean side in the starting lineup. Then looking through at Canada now, and player who has been mentioned quite a bit is the player at number 20. Now, the thing is, I've heard her name pronounced about 3 different ways. I thought it was Muller, but it's not. It's actually, I think it's Muilele. No, it's not. It's not quite that. How have they said it? They've said it in a few different ways. Muela, maybe. We'll see how we go with the pronunciation later on, but it is going to be Galto, Fernanda, also Woods, Sambo, Muela, Maru, and also McDade in the back line. Then it is Sargent, Fitz, Steele, Hinley, Berg, and Pukalis in that starting lineup. In the fullback with this game, I believe it's going to be a Harding affair once again. We do see it raining in England, sadly. No surprises there, though. What time is this match starting at? Indeed, though, Hamish says Patrick. So it is starting in 2 minutes' time. They are just finishing the national anthems. And how's it, Hamish? Okay, so this is the Women's Rugby League World Cup. So we have our league men's, a women's union, and a women's league at the same time, says Gareth. We do indeed. And then we wait about a week and a bit or so, and then there's actually the Wheelchair Rugby League World Cup that is going to be firing up as well. So there is plenty of rugby league. The rugby union side of things is still well and truly kicking in. And yeah, it's the season to lose my voice, I think is the best way of describing it. But Papua New Guinea now just finishing their national anthem. They will be ready to go for this game, as it could be a history-making performance. Now, in the first game of the Women's Rugby League World Cup, we did see England versus Brazil, and it was probably about the result that a lot of people expected. 72 points to 4 in favour of the English, but Brazil getting themselves their first ever Rugby League World Cup try. Papua New Guinea, though, in this game, they want to get themselves their first ever win. And like I mentioned, they played Canada in 2017. They were unsuccessful in that venture, but coming in as favourites here, they'll be hoping they can get the job done. But do let me know score predictions, ladies and gentlemen, for this matchup. Do you think the Papua New Guinean women's side can get themselves a big win, or will Canada make it close and try and really push them till the final moments? But we do see the Canadians, they are wearing that white and gold kit. And Papua New Guinea, they're going to be wearing the classic red for the Orchids, and they are certainly going to be a dangerous side to watch out for. I see that there is Albert at number 8. Is she any relation to Wellington Albert, I wonder, who we have been seeing, or Washington Albert, I should say. Washington or Wellington? I know it's a place. I can't remember what its first name was. I think it's No, it's Washington. I'll go with Washington. Final answer. Wonder if she's any relation to him. She actually plays the same position as well. Papua New Guinea, they want to start this match well with the wet conditions as well. The last thing you want is the early handling errors. You want to get your points on the board, build momentum, because they will be taking on this English side in the near future, and that's going to be a tough game. I've got something in my eye, unfortunately. Not what you want at the start of a match. But yeah, the huddle. Papua New Guinea looking focused and determined to go on and get themselves a big win. And it's going to be tricky because Canada are one of those sides you cannot underestimate with the talent that they've got, with the fact that they have won in the past at a Rugby League World Cup, and also the fact that they actually have taken part in a World Cup before makes it very handy for them. They've also got a very experienced winger, which is Muela. She has played for New Zealand in the past, and I believe this is about her 6th Rugby League World Cup. But the referee, Jeffrey Pooms, going to be in charge of this one, and it looks like Papua New Guinea will be kicking off this match going from right to left. Just about to get underway for this fixture. We will make sure our scoreboard is working, which hopefully it will be, but it's being played at Headingley Stadium in Leeds for this exciting matchup between Papua New Guinea and also Canada. Right, ready to go. Vavas has put it on the tee, just about to strike it, and then as soon as she has, the second match of the Women's World Cup is going to be underway. And also, where's this one being hosted? So it is in Headingley, Leeds. So it is actually the same location as the English, or the men's matches, I should say, are taking place, but it's kicked down deep. Canada take it nicely. And now first carry of the matchup, it is going to be Elizabeth Steele, who runs it hard at the line, taken down by Karoi and also Long. Going off to the right-hand side here for Canada. A bit of early physicality being shown by both of these sides, which is exactly what we would be expecting. At the end of the day, they'll have a lot of adrenaline going for this World Cup. Geez, if you got adrenaline going, you just hope that that one didn't hurt the way it looks like it should have for Kirsty Sargent. Now moving up to the halfway line then, Karina Galto joins the line for Canada. This has been a very good first set, and the Wheelchair Rugby League World Cup 6th sport, says Liam G. And I know it's coming up relatively soon, isn't it? I'm not too sure what day it starts. But unfortunately, I don't think they actually are showing it here in New Zealand, which is a bit of a shame. And also, we have got the Headingley, i.e. the UK. So here's Liam G there, but that one's going to be kicked out on the full from Canada. Unfortunately, on the halfway line side, they go for that kick in behind, and it does not work out. So now the Orchids will have themselves the quick tap from the halfway line. In fact, they'll have the reset, I should say, from the halfway line. Rolling the ball back was Albert. Now Papua New Guinea, their first attacking opportunity. Nice tackle made there by Canada, using 3 of their defenders. Now, they were talking about before the match how they would like to send it wide, hope for the best, and hope that that kind of links up and open up the players on the outside. But the thing is, with the rainy, wet conditions, does mean it might make it a little bit more challenging. Nice pick and go from Papua New Guinea. I believe there was Mullabag. Decided she'd have a go at the line. In fact, Aiton, my brother, has been playing in the Men's Rugby League World Cup for quite some time, although I don't believe he's playing in this one now. Once again, round the side, it's going to be Ravu. And big love, lads. How we doing? See Sebastian doing very well, mate. Hope you are doing well. Also, must be evening for yourself in Romania, if I am not wrong. And I've just realized that everywhere in the world now we are past Halloween. So now we've got another year till we get our fangs back out. Now going out in front, 34 metres out. It's a crossfield kick. Beautifully taken for Papua New Guinea. Looking for the link-up pass. It's just going to be the knock-on, unfortunately, for Butler, though. Wasn't able to hang on to it the way she would have liked. Long cleans up for the Canadians. And now 5 metres out, running straight sideways. Interesting tactic from Canada being employed here. It was a great cross kick initially from Sarah Karoi. Went straight into the hands of the Papua New Guinean Guusamin. But she wasn't able to get it out wide. And also, my fangs don't take breaks, mate, says Sebastian. That is a good point. Your fangs are there 24/7, no matter what. I've always wondered what it would be like to actually have fangs, though, because surely these parts of your mouth get just destroyed anytime you accidentally bite your lip or anything. Or is that just not a problem that actually happens? I'm probably overthinking things. 3 minutes into the game at the moment. Canada once again hit it up at the line with Pukalis. A nice carry. And Canada have been making some pretty good meters each time they've been hitting it up at the line. 39 meters made from that reset, or from that set, I should say. It's a great kick downfield. It's going to drift into touch, almost a 40-20. Is it going to be a Papua New Guinea one? Not quite. She was about 55 meters when she kicked in. Wheelchair starts Thursday UK time, says Liam there. So, yeah, I hope they are showing it on New Zealand TV. I know that Spark Sport has secured the licensing, I should say, for the men's and the women's. I don't know about the wheelchair, though. So hopefully we find out relatively soon. I've never actually watched a game of rugby league involving wheelchairs. So I feel like that would kind of be a cool learning experience as well. This is actually our first ever women's game of rugby league we have covered on the channel also. And it is a 6 a.m. start. Now, nice run forward for the Kumuls there. Looking to get a little bit further down the field there. I believe that would have been Maria Lu. Now going straight through. Here comes Gwasaman up to the halfway line. Good tackle made on her, though. Canada's defence has to make sure they are not missing any tackles early on, or else Papua New Guinea will try and make them pay. Albert once again hits it up at the line. Goes to 40 metres out from Canada's line. Now, I know that the Papua New Guinea women's side has the nickname in the Orchids. Do we know what Canada's nickname is for their women's side? Do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, if you are aware of what their team nickname is. It's 55 metres game from Papua New Guinea in that set. Now out on the wing. Looks like be a decent run back at the line there. I believe that would have been... Trying to find that number. I feel like I should know that lady, but I do not at this stage. Canada, like they're saying, it seems to be very structured from both sides throughout the early stages of this match. No one taking too many risks, which is probably fair enough. You want to make sure that you're getting used to the conditions. Both sides have been training in this wet weather, so it makes it a little bit easier for them, but still one of those ones that once you get that adrenaline going for a Rugby League World Cup matchup, it's just a whole different level. But Elizabeth still there as the ball. Now passes off. Canada shut down by 3 Papua New Guinean defenders, and now that's going to be the 5th tackle. 29 metres gained by Canada for that set. Going off short side, a kick downfield. Ball sitting up. Nicely taken there at the back by Papua New Guinea. Now look to attack back. That was too high. Unfortunately, around the neck region from a Berg. And that is going to be 6 minutes into the game. A high shot round the neck region, and she will be sent back about 10 metres or 20 or so, depending on how much measurage we do see on this kick. Okay, that kick went about 3 metres, but they did get moved up to the 10-metre line, so they are going to be all right just for now, but they are showing there the Papua New Guinean coach. I've learned that both of these coaches both have Australian accents, so they're both probably relatively handy. And the wheelchair lads are the incarnation of passion of the sport. Much respect to them, says Sebastian as well. Yeah, so I really hope they at least show the games here in New Zealand. I don't know the rules of the Wheelchair Rugby League overall compared to the other rules. Is it on the same size field, Sebastian? Do let me know. And also, I guess the other question is, how long is the game? If you know all of the information. Sorry for asking so many questions this early hour of the morning, or I guess tea time for yourself. Now, Papua New Guinea, their back line wasn't looking too bad, but Anika Butler hasn't been able to take that one out on the wing either. So now, once again, Canada will be able to survive. Just a little bit too wide there with that pass. Yeah, arms weren't quite long enough for that one. I honestly don't know. I'll look it up now. See, Sebastian, much appreciated. There, mate. Oh, I've still got the Halloween emoji as well. This is probably sticking around till Christmas, by the way, Sebastian. Hope you don't mind. It's going to be one of those ones that lurk, and then all of a sudden it will be like June next year, and we're like, okay, we've still got the Halloween emoji, so I guess now it's the time to have it. It's like when it gets to Christmas, and then the day after Christmas, they put in the Easter eggs into the supermarkets and whatnot, and say, now we're almost there. Now across to the left-hand side. Good carry once again there from it was Pukalis. Canada, though, they're inside of the half of Papua New Guinea. This is exactly where they want to be. Oh, someone's just tripped over in the back play. Hope she is all right. Elizabeth Steele, another attack and run. 4th tackle now for Canada. Dangerous attacking position on the field. Another carry. She gets up and rolls it back. They didn't have a halfback for a second there, but now it is going to be a little chip in behind the space opening up. Oh, the hands. I don't actually know if Anika Butler knows how to catch at this stage because that's about her 4th drop ball from 4, but now Canada, they're going to have another set restart. They came in as $12 underdogs for this matchup. They are playing like favourites at the moment. The step from the Canadians. Getting close to the line now, only 3 metres out. It's going to be the first set, or the first tackle, I should say. Numbers on the outside. All they need is the draw and pass, and the Canadians, no! She's been out up. Brilliant tackle made. Fernanda wasn't able to get it down. And that is absolutely terrific defense from Papua New Guinea. Being able to survive just like they need to at this point of the match because Canada have thrown absolutely everything at them throughout the first 9 minutes of the contest. And there's a mistake playing the ball. So Canada not able to cross the try line. That will give the Orchids a huge amount of pretty much confidence, to say the least, the way it's been going. And it's 5-a-side on a court. I think it's 80 minutes. Game's the same rules. Tackles made by pulling a tag from the shoulder. Kicks are substituted by punching it forward. A tackle was counted when we take a tag off a shoulder. All kicks, penalties, dropouts, conversions are all done with the fist. It's generally played on a court. Dimensions 40 points to 40 by 20 meters, and the indoor rugby posts put in place for the conversions, drop kicks, and penalty kicks. See, Sebastian, now I'm hyped up for the wheelchair Rugby League World Cup. I just really hope they show it here in New Zealand. I feel like there would be a lot of action that we wouldn't want to be missing. I wonder, does New Zealand have a team? Sorry, these are so many questions I'm firing at you guys. That's a little mistake there from Papua New Guinea. Canada, get it back. Now Canada 10 meters out. In fact, 20 meters out from the line now. Going off to the left-hand side. It will be Sandbo. Shut down and a good double woman tackle by Albert, but this was a little bit of a mistake there. Straight away, Papua New Guinea trying to ask for it to be knocked out of their hands and a penalty in their favour, but the referee was having absolutely none of it. Now going to the left. Numbers this time. All they need is to put the ball down. Once again, she's not going to be able to, though. Fernanda has been shut down very well out on that wing. They haven't quite been able to get through. Now slinging it away to the right-hand side. Good tackle made on Elizabeth Steele, who has already made many meters throughout this one. Ireland playing in the Wheelchair Rugby League World Cup. In the Wheelchair Rugby League, indeed, though, Hamish. Says Patrick, that's going to be the knock-on. Tell you what, we'll see what we can find out. We're going to click here. We'll go on the official website. The women's, the wheelchair, right. We've got Spain, Ireland, England, Australia, France, Wales, Scotland, and USA are the 8 sides that they've got in the women's, the Wheelchair World Cup, I should say, rather than the women's. So that does mean that New Zealand are not taking part in it. Sadly, I'm not sure about New Zealand. I think the French are currently champions. They invented it, says LMG, and also they are Patrick. Now, 10 meters out from their own line, it is going to be Papua New Guinea who will be feeding this ball into the scrum. Nice work there from the scrum and also from the back line, starting to open up. Another good tackle made on Malawea. Now, I will mention I do have to look at a few of these names every once in a while. It is my first ever time watching either of these sides play, so it's kind of exciting. It's like a new chapter, I guess you could say, as well. Currently, they don't actually have the betting available for this match anymore, for anyone who is wondering about this one. France come in as $81 underdogs, though, in their game up against New Zealand, and Australia are well and truly favourites up against the Cook Islands. Those are the 2 matches that are taking place tomorrow. But 12 minutes into this game, Albert hits it up now 40 metres out, and it's going to be fourth, kicked in behind early from Papua New Guinea, and it looks like it's going to be a swirling ball, but taken nicely at the back by Muela. Big hit at the line. Now the experienced, I was going to call her a Kiwi, but I don't know whether we're allowed to say that she is Kiwi. She's been playing for New Zealand in 3 Rugby League World Cups in the past at least. And also, do PNG have a women's team in the NRL? I don't believe so, but I think 7 of their players took part in the 2017 match when they did end up losing up against the Canadians. I think was a stat that they did let us know a little bit earlier on. That was actually the Papua New Guinea women's side that took down England, I think, was their stat that they had. But they are scattered around throughout the women's NRL and also a few other competitions around the world, just getting some minutes under the belt, I guess. And that's fine, mate. I only know one women's player, Emily Rudge, the England captain, says Sebastian. And also, Hamish, today, England beat Black Cats by 20 runs, predicting a semi-final lineup. Now, I actually have no idea how the World Cup is sitting at the moment. It's been strange for me. I feel like from the fact that we haven't been able to do the live streams on the channel due to the copyright scenario, I've tried to watch a lot of the games, but I've only been seeing highlights rather than actually full matches, which feels really bad because it's in Australia, so it's perfect time zone, really, to be able to watch as many games as possible. A little bit of an injury and back play by the looks of it for Papua New Guinea here, but they are still in position at the 3rd tackle. Papua New Guinea have a Queensland Cup team a feeder club competition for the NRL. There you go, Sebastian. He is a man with the stats and a man with the fangs as well. But that is going to be about quadruple blow of the whistle there from the referee. So they do want to go back and just make sure that all the players are all right. I think Kirsty Sargent's been cut open. She going to be all right. We're not getting a zoom in of it as of yet, but might be a forehead cut for Kirsty Sargent here. She's going to be taken off the field by the looks of it. They're going to try and stop the bleeding, but that's normally the hardest thing to do in a short amount of time. And also, Hardcastle is a standout for England women, says Liam G. And there's also maybe Spark Sport. Now that I think about it, if New Zealand aren't taking part in the women's, if they aren't taking part in the wheelchair Rugby League World Cup, I guess that's probably why they haven't secured licensing, which seems like a bit of a shame. Because at the end of the day, it's still a World Cup that they're going to be watching. Are you going to do the Rugby League World Cup for the wheelchair? Indeed, though, Hamish says, Patrick, I think I'll find out if they're showing it in New Zealand. That will be a good starting point. If they're not showing it in New Zealand, it, of course, will make it a lot more tricky to be able to cover. But, yeah, we'll see how we go. I guess the goal could be to do at least one game of the Wheelchair World Cup and just kind of learn the rules as we watch the game. So I feel like that's half the fun in a way. I've got to the stage here when you've done over 1,000 commentary live streams, sometimes it's the not knowing that actually makes it more enjoyable. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Kick downfield, drop cold by Canada. And that's going to be disappointing from Galto, just not quite able to hang on to it. And it will be 14 and a half minutes in Papua New Guinea, another attacking opportunity. Like I mentioned, they came into this game as $1.01 favourites. Canada, for me, though, have been the more attacking side. They've looked, I would say, better on attack, worse in defence. Papua New Guinea's defence has been looking very strong as they were only a few metres out from the line, and they were stopping Canada from getting through, which is not an easy task to do. Average metres gained so far for Papua New Guinea. They've actually made 6 compared to the 5 now. Papua New Guinea, they go for the pass. It's not on. And unfortunately, just another mistake there for the Orchids. Every time they try and sling that ball wide, the mistake happens. It seems to be after a skip pass. There it is. The skip pass just doesn't quite work out. And Canada will have themselves the ball once it stops running away. Of course, they are just trying to trap it now. Relatively even stalemate of the first 15 minutes or so. It seems like both sides are pretty evenly matched. Big shot from Papua New Guinea. I believe there was actually one of the interchange. No, not quite. Banu was the woman who had that one. But I guess that brings up the question of when do the interchanges get made for these two sides? Because we know that they've both got 8. They want to use them wisely. We're currently 16 minutes into the game, so maybe we start to see a couple of the bigger players for both sides start to make their way off the field. Pakulis has been pretty busy for Canada, but a nice step there, running up the middle. Good shot from Gwasserman. Now it's still inside of their own half here. Canada moving up to the 4th tackle. Now on the halfway line, Maddie Alberg. It's going to be 5th and final. They do make about 40. Speaking of interchange, right on cue, Woods is off the field. Petra Woods, and that is going to be Sarah Maguire, who has made her way out there. So I guess they just answered my question for me. Although I was very wrong because I wouldn't have guessed the number 3 was going off the field. But Papua New Guinea now another good run. Good defence, though, from the lady who was cut open a bit earlier on. Sargent now going off to the left-hand side. The step there, and she has held the ball there for Anika Butler. She has come off her wing just to get herself a little bit more time with the ball in hand. Another big run from Papua New Guinea, moving up to only 35 metres out. Still a long way to go to the try line, but certainly on the right track at the moment for the Orchids. Going off to Albert. Straight up the middle of the park. She seems to be one of those ladies who would rather run it straight than run it sideways. And I feel like that's the kind of thing that you need in a big forward. Now it's kicked in behind with the grubber. Waiting for this one. Nicely taken by Canada, but a lot of pressure here. Although she's running straight sideways and it's working. Albert misses the tackle, runs at Danu. And she said, nope, not happening. You're not going around me. Canada, they are first tackle. I wonder whether or not we're going to have ourselves a tryless first half, which would be, I mean, it would be interesting because I think every other game that we're having of the Women's Rugby League World Cup this round is going to have 50-plus points for the favourites. Oh, that's hard on the spine. That wouldn't have felt too nice for a Berg. She's got back up, though. She's doing all right, but you don't really want to get your spine bent backwards like a scorpion. Now, Fernanda goes forward. That looked a bit high, but it is going to be play on your prediction for the men's quarterfinals, says Sebastian. So there's some big matches. In fact, I actually have the little animation still there, so this would be the perfect time to bring it up. So first game, Australia-Lebanon. Australia, I think they're going to win it relatively comfortably, probably by around, oh, that's another drop ball. I would say probably around, I don't want to underestimate Lebanon, but Australia's been looking good throughout this Rugby League World Cup, so I want to say somewhere between 20 and 40, maybe averaged out to about 30-point win for Australia. England versus Papua New Guinea is the game that's got my head scratching. Got me scratching my head. I was going to say, if your head can scratch itself, that's a bit fancy, a bit weird in a way as well. But England should win by quite a bit, but Papua New Guinea, I think, are going to put in a decent fight, but I can still see England winning it. Actually, to be fair, if England get it going early, they could still win it by about the same margin. As I said, that Australia could beat Lebanon, so around that 24 points. But then also there's a chance they win by 50. That's the thing with England. They're a tough side. At the moment, New Zealand, Fiji, last time playing in a Rugby League World Cup, was relatively low scoring. This time, I think New Zealand win it by 10. Somewhere around there. I think they'll build into a little mistake once again for Papua New Guinea. Unfortunately, another knock on. So they will be going back for the scrum. Tonga, Samoa. Both sides coming into some good form. Tonga getting themselves 90-plus points. Samoa playing well. Tamalolo back. I'll go Tonga by 6 in that one. Are they anywhere near what you think, Sebastian, or are they just random number? And also, I agree, Papua New Guinea have that dark horse flair about them, says Sebastian. And yeah, they've beaten England before, which I think makes it just that little bit more of a, Yeah, I think that's my favorite game of the round, plus Samoa versus Tonga. I think that those two games are the ones that I'm definitely looking forward to the most. Now, nice work here from Canada. That's a high tackle again. 20 minutes through this match at the moment, and unfortunately just a little bit too high in the tackle from Lisa Marialu. Taking the quick tap. Driving forward. Another big shot coming from PNG. So Canada back in possession. We haven't seen a try as of yet in this one. Particularly, we know your prediction, Sebastian, for the game 6 again. That's the last thing that Papua New Guinea would want. But actually, I'm going to take that statement back, because there's something that Canada would have wanted less than what Papua New Guinea wanted it, and that was the handling error on the very first carry of the match, or very first carry of the set, I should say, for Mariu. Unfortunately, just looked up, didn't hang on to the ball, and now it is going to be Papua New Guinea once again in possession. We are currently 21 minutes through this match, ladies and gentlemen. Like I mentioned, for this matchup, $12 underdogs were the Canadians. Although saying that, it said $12 underdogs, but you couldn't actually place a bet on them. So maybe the odds were changing late in this game. Papua New Guinea. Oh, no. The pass was behind her. Anika Butler. Don't know if she could catch a cold at the moment. It really has not been a good day out on the wing for her, sadly. Every time she wants the ball, it's just either here, way down here, or just anywhere that she can't quite get it. And also we've got the Kangaroos by 40. Kiwis by 18, England by 10, and Samoa by 2. And there's us, Sebastian. So, yeah. I hope there are a couple close games, though. Like, I like England by 10, Samoa by 2, just because this Rugby League World Cup has lacked, I guess, those competitive games that make you on the edge of your seat. Like, the thing is, Group D, I believe it was, with Cook Islands, Wales, Papua New Guinea, and Tonga. Like, those games, I think, were probably the best of the groupings, just because they at least had a little bit of, I guess you could say, unpredictability, but plus, like, both sides just seemed like they had a chance in each game, if that makes sense, other than, of course, the Cook Islands. In that game up against Tonga, I think they just gave up, didn't they? Now, everyone says, Brandon, welcome in, mate. I think Ireland are getting very good at international rugby indeed, though, Hamish, says Patrick, and they are actually going to be playing up against the Springboks, who did recently announce their side. Chisel and Colby going to be playing at fullback. I mean, an interesting one for the Springboks. It's always quite funny because the Springboks, you have no idea when they're going to announce their side. So what happens is I'll normally stay up till about 12 or 1, which is later than I should have since we had a live stream at 6 today. Bump off, hello. That was a big one from the number 6 there. Sarah Karoi went straight over the top of the Canadian. Now, round the side, Lisa Mari Alu. So, yeah, like I was saying, with the Springbok side, you always expect that they're going to announce it at a random time. They've kicked early. And there, rather than running it up a little bit first, Papua New Guinea decide to kick it on the 5th. Going back to the right-hand side now, Canada use McDade. So I went in had my shower last night at about 12:30 or 1 o'clock, I think it was. Just because I normally have one in the evening. I know that that's one. Some people enjoy a morning shower. Some people enjoy the late night. But I had the shower, got out of the shower, and then I looked at my phone and it was like Instagram. Bok Rugby made a post and I was like, I've done it again. Every time I step away from the PC, that's when they announce their side. Whether I stay up till like 5 a.m. and then go to bed and then I get the notification, that's another error there. Another knock on from Canada. It is slippery out there on the field though, so that is probably why we are seeing so many throughout this match. Colby at 15, certainly unorthodox, but it could be interesting, see Sebastian. I know there was someone a while ago on a live stream who was, I guess, complaining because someone said they'd like to see Chisel and Colby at 15. And I remember the chat, and they were just like, this one person, they were like, don't be silly. Chisel and Colby's not a 15. They'd never put him there. And I love words because they always end up either being right or wrong, and they were very wrong for that one, saying that Chisel and Colby wouldn't get the 15. But yeah, different choice for them, because I would have thought Kurtley Arunsa could have been the option at 15 due to him playing there for the Bulls throughout the URC. Nice run forward once again, Papua New Guinea. This is definitely their best attacking opportunity of the half. Only a few meters out, the draw bar sits down, and Papua New Guinea, the Orchids, get themselves the first try of their Rugby League World Cup campaign. Shelley Long goes over. Has been a long time coming for Papua New Guinea. And they have now got themselves that first try of the contest. Canada will feel a little bit unlucky here, because they have had a majority of the attack. They've been only 5 meters out a couple of times. But the first time that PNG get in there, they're like, we'll just score the try. This is how you're supposed to do it. Nice draw and pass from Karoi. Saw the gap. Long went through. I just realized I said it's a long time coming, and that could have been considered as a pun if I was thinking on my feet. Springbok Sevens has got the squad. I've got the squad for this weekend. Samoa Sevens not yet there. That's the other thing. The Sevens coming up this weekend. We're going to have a crazy weekend of everything, because we've got rugby union, we've got rugby league, we've got rugby sevens. Other than that, I don't think we've got too much else that we are covering on the channel, thankfully, because or else then I might not have any voice at all. I'm just going to have a quick look to see if Samoa have announced their side for the Hong Kong Sevens yet. Normally the best place to find it is on their Facebook. We'll have a quick look. What can we find out? Okay, people training in the gym. 5 days until kickoff. That is for the Samoan side. Manu Samoa versus Italy. I think I'm finding the right track. Samoa Sevens. There we go. First kick of the match. Strike nicely just away to the right-hand side. We can't even cover all the rugby, let alone Cricket World Cup football. So, says Sebastian. Yeah, I guess the thing is, in a weird way, it sucks with the cricket, of course. But I feel like the Sri Lankans have just made my workload a little bit lighter, which I guess I'm very appreciative of in some regards, very annoyed in other regards. So the fact that I haven't actually been able to do any of the cricket. Definitely England versus New Zealand. I would have loved to do that game, even though New Zealand lost. You'll be happy with that one, Sebastian, that they did win by the 20 runs. I'm just looking through. Yes, Samoa don't seem like they have announced their sevens squad yet. Although I'm not too sure whereabouts I will find it, but I will keep looking through. And also Yuko says Brandon, or Yukeo. KO? I haven't done much boxing, if that's the question. There's a massive boxing bag at the gym that I go to. But It's quite funny. I was actually told at the start when I got there, he was like, normally it's only the real big rugby players who use the boxing bag because it's quite a heavy one. So like he said pretty much I wouldn't bother with using it unless like you're feeling very, very aggressive. And also we have to work together to knock out the Aussies. Nice work today, says Sebastian. And there, yeah, it's a weird situation, isn't it, with Australia? If they get knocked out before their home semis, like that's going to be massive for them. Another big run from Albert. As LC Albert, that is, moving up to halfway. 27 and a half minutes through this contest now and 4-0 in favour of Papua New Guinea, who now look like they're starting to find a bit more of their momentum. The ball on the outside right. They don't manage to find the pass to the number 2, Anika Butler there. You know, Rugby Sevens for 12:45 a.m. then start of the day, 6:23 p.m. at 1 a.m. says Brandon. Yeah, the Hong Kong Sevens times, in a way, it's probably the best place that they could have been played because they're going to be overlapping during the day. Unfortunately, they will overlap with the women's game, New Zealand versus France, which I think is a 7:05 p.m. kickoff on the Saturday. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of games of rugby, rugby league, rugby sevens all coming up. And we are hoping to cover every single one that we can. We've even had to, I guess, bring in reinforcements for a couple of the matches just with the overlaps that are created. And Glenn Phillips, though, what a beast, says Sebastian. Yeah, he's been playing very well on this Cricket World Cup. And I feel like even with just how well he's been playing, it has helped New Zealand so far. Like the game up against Sri Lanka, he was just a one-man band. Like, you would have thought it was Glenn Phillips versus Sri Lanka, the way he was playing. And, of course, the bowlers, they did all right once Phillips had done the job with the bat. But he's been playing some very good cricket throughout this World Cup. Now another big run forward. That is going to be Okongwa there, who did have the carry, one of the interchange players. Nice run from Canada here, making a few extra meters. The position currently is sitting 64% in favour of the Canadians. So that's why I mentioned earlier on that they will feel hard done by. They've had all possession, but they just haven't been able to make the most of it. Now still continuing to try and attack with 30 minutes gone in this matchup between the two sides for Papua New Guinea and Canada. Going off to the left, linking up nicely. Another big carry forward. Going down just inside of the 20-metre line there. 39 metres gained by the Canadians. They'll look for a little chip of mine. I think they've gone for the grubber instead. It's going to be sitting up. Awkward one. Oh, okay. I think the Papua New Guinean defender there, Lisa Marie Alou, made a mistake. But I think Fernanda knocked it on. That is my first guess. Dr. Weekris, that is an interesting statement. Overall, they are doing lots, says Dr. Weekris. It's great having a Women's World Cup as well alongside the men's one. That's all I say. It's just the extra, I guess, games that we are able to watch. They're just making sure everyone is on side. Okay, number 9 and number 13 are offside for Canada, so they're going to be checking this one. A local cricket press today wrote that England ward off Glenn Phillips, not New Zealand or the Black Caps. But yeah, that's probably fair enough. He's been very strong. Right, so it's a knock-on there from Papua New Guinea. Okay, they've actually said that it's hit the Canadian player in the leg. And I was like, I can help going out this weekend, but I can help you if you want me covering the Rugby Sevens for you when you watch Rugby Sevens World Cup or the Women's World Cup for the woman as well, says Brandon. I have actually, I believe at this stage, I have brought in the reinforcements of the parents. If you remember rightly, they covered some Super Rugby in the past. And I've somehow... Well, I'm still slightly in the process of convincing them, but yeah, I've somehow convinced them that that might be a good idea to do some commentary. But Canada, that's not a place. Canada score themselves the try there, and it's going to be Petra Woods who got it in the end. The TMO checked it a couple times, decided that there was no clear, conclusive evidence of a knock-on, and now Papua New Guinea will find themselves down by a couple points as that kick is successful from Canada, just having the legs on it. And that makes the score 6-4 going into halftime, almost with still another 10 minutes left on the clock. Plenty of time for both of these ladies' sides. And Kiwi Dad commentary, Kiwi Mum chat, says Sebastian. Yeah, it seems to be the winning combination at the moment when we do end up having the commentaries with the two of them. But yeah, I think it's taken a lot of convincing, but I'm trying to convince them that covering the first half of All Blacks versus Wales would be a good idea. while I do England versus Papua New Guinea for the Rugby League World Cup. It's going to take a huge amount of convincing, but we might get there in the end. I think they're just going to possibly get up, do the first half, and then go back to bed for the second big carry. Once again from a Congo. Off to the right-hand side now. Albert's been taken off the field. That is for Aoi. Has made her way out onto the park as well. That was the run from Petra Woods, the try scorer, a little bit earlier on. But we will go through to the sevens. 2 days, 14 hours time. That's very close. It's weird how the weekends work, isn't it? They just come around so quickly. So on Saturday night, it's going to be, of course it would be Australia-Samoa at 7 p.m. Then Kenya versus Canada, Argentina-Ireland, Fiji versus USA is at 9, so that's after the game takes place. So I would say Australia-Samoa is the only one that we're overlapping with there, and also All Blacks versus Wales I might covering. And as the Rugby League World Cup on Sky Sports in Ireland, anyone know, says James. And there'll be heaps of people can't miss that stream. I think you can use that as an argument, says Sebastian. And there's, massive game for Papua New Guinea. Like, that's the thing. I've loved watching their progression throughout the Rugby League World Cup, because before this Rugby League World Cup, like, I didn't actually get to watch any of the last one. And watching this one, like, I feel like it's been very entertaining. And I've seen the passion that Papua New Guinea have. Like, the amount of people on our stream yesterday who were like, I'm not going to work yet because the game's not over. I was like, it's commitment. And I said on the stream as well, it sounds like the only country you can get away with not going to work on time because there's a game of rugby league on is Papua New Guinea. Now it's going to be nicely done by the number 20 there, Muela, now trying to run it sideways. Oh, picked up and dropped on her back. That's going to be the penalty. Referee's not too happy with it. Is it going to be the penalty? No, she just puts her hands up. And Shelley Long apologizes. And also we have got the, do you prefer men or women's sport? Kiwi Lad says Dr. Wheatgrass. I assume from your last comment you want me to say the men's, but it's two very different games. Like, I have thoroughly enjoyed watching the Women's Rugby League World Cup. Or sorry, not the Rugby League World Cup, the Rugby Union World Cup. And we've done a few of the streams. The Black Ferns have been doing very well throughout that competition. I think it just depends on the style of rugby you enjoy watching, because I've heard a lot of people say, I think a lot of people are in agreement as well, it's pretty much the women's game, it's less contact but more structure. And then the men's, it's a bit more contact but less structure, if that makes sense. I just realized what I said. No pressure, folks. Can you do commentary for possibly thousands of listeners, says Sebastian. And when we cover the France versus Australia game, probably get home by knockout, says it was there from James. I believe if we aren't covering it, we are possibly going to have a rugby itch doing that game for us while we are doing Samoa versus Tonga. So we've got a few overlaps that we have been keeping an eye on. But yeah, Rugby Itch has said if we need help with Union, he can do it. He has done it in the past for us as well. So he may end up getting a little bit of a cameo on the channel for that France versus Australia game. That's the thing. We'll probably still be watching that game while doing the other one. Oh, the kickoff, sorry. I'll probably get home by kickoff rather than KO. And Australia Sevens versus Samoa Sevens are covering also New Zealand versus Australia because Australia Sevens in the same pool, says Brandon there. Now back around forward from, I think it's Albert. She's only been off the field very short for the interchange, and now she's already been put back out there on the park. So maybe just going off for a quick rest, and then they realize that they need her still out on the field. Oh, a little bit of a headbutt there, a little bit of aggression from Sandboat. Wasn't too happy in the tackle. Now going back across to the short side, another big carry. Tim is a legend, says Sebastian. He is indeed, although he didn't dress up for Halloween, which was a shame. I actually sent him a message beforehand saying, have you got anything Halloween related? And he was like, no, not really. And that should have been my time that I went, okay, I won't do anything Halloween related for that Springboks prediction video. But instead I just dressed up as a vampire. Seemed like a good idea at the time. Those fangs are hard to talk in, though. Now, going off to the right-hand side. Bit of a slip there from the Canadian defence. Papua New Guinea get close. I don't know if they realised it was the fifth, though, as it is now going to be the handover. I thought Autumn Internationals would be prioritised, says James Cody. I think Nathan described it best. The Autumn Internationals happen every year. The Rugby League World Cup happens every 4 years. So it's one of those ones that I think if we were up to the group stages of the Rugby League World Cup, we would be doing the Autumn Internationals. And the thing is, with the Autumn Internationals, just because I'm not covering them on the channel with my voice doesn't mean we're not going to have a live stream going on the channel with someone covering them, if that makes sense. Like Tim's done it for us in the past where he did a Laura Shell's game of the Champions Cup. So he will be probably doing the watch-along commentary of that one. And then from there, we will possibly come back for the second half of that one. It's just with the amount of overlaps that they've got for the Rugby League World Cup, it has made it very difficult with being able to cover so many of the different games that are happening around the world. If you want me to help with this weekend, just message me on Discord. Says Brandon also, he lives in the US. Going to give a toss about Halloween. Love the Defiance. Says Sebastian there as well. Okay, there's going to be a knock on from Canada. 62 meters gain, though. Nice set initially. Now, currently 6 points to 4 in favour of the Canadians. Sebastian, have you ever considered doing rugby league commentary for yourself, mate? Do let me know. I can probably understand if you don't want to do it, but just a thought. You seem to be a very knowledgeable individual. And I still am yet to hear you talk, and I feel like listening to it on a live stream would be quite a cool way of learning it. 3 minutes left, though, of this half. Papua New Guinea in possession here once again. It's been a low-scoring half. Are you doing the New Zealand game on Saturday? Says James, we are indeed. Now, I know that I am at least doing the second half of that fixture, but my parents might actually be doing the first half, which is something we have seen in the past, just with the overlap. But we will be doing a lot of the build-up of the matches, I should say, for this weekend. It is just more of the case of, for that first 40 minutes, there is going to be the overlap. But I wouldn't say that like there'll be any difference really. I mean, my dad's pretty much me just add 30 years. And then also alongside that, I guess it's just like my mum. She's been on live streams before. You guys have seen her. That's a big shot from Okongwa there. And I'll be perfectly honest, I would be mortified, says Sebastian. And there as well, it is a weird feeling, your first live stream, I'll be honest. But yeah, wow, that's a big shot. They've just shown the replay. My niece Brittany Douglas is playing. I can't find a stream. Where would I find it? Says Doug Henry. Whereabouts in the world are you watching from? That is going to be brilliantly done by Papua New Guinea. And they have just got themselves another try on the board right at the end of the first half. Perfect time to be able to score yourself a try in this contest. 1 minute 30 left on the clock, but Papua New Guinea, they're in for it. Martha Molawea has been able to score it out on that left-hand side of the field. Now going to the left-hand side, just showing the replay here. Was it the skip pass? No, it wasn't this time. They decided against going out onto the wing for Anika Butler. No offense to her, but I think that was probably a good idea. She hasn't held too many balls throughout this matchup so far. Was the draw and pass initially from Gusaman, then just bumping through over the top of, I believe it was Mariu. Oh, hi, says Crazy and said, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing very well. I did see you earlier on the live stream. You did your, I think it was the peace sign, wasn't it? That emoji. So yeah, it's good to see you once again. Fairly close game. Might be more balanced competition than the men's, says Sebastian. I hope so. I know that this game was supposed to be the closer one out of all of the fixtures because New Zealand come in as $71 favorites, or like $1 or $81 underdogs. France find themselves there and would have never known the women we're playing if you didn't stream, says Crazy NZ. And there, and we are hoping to do a few more of the women's games in the future. Unfortunately, tomorrow, it sounds bad as soon as I say we're hoping to do more, and then tomorrow we can't do it, unfortunately, with when we are starting work. But we're hoping to get quite a bit going on the Rugby Women's World Cup. I'm just going to quickly check when the second round starts. It's going to be a tough kick from the touchline. That was always going to be an extremely hard one to get over. Only 15 seconds left of this first half. A genius idea if New Zealand are doing well. Turn up for the second half if they are bad. On the overlap, says James. I mean, even if New Zealand are losing by 50, we're doing that second half of the live stream. That is for sure. I don't know, Papua New Guinea played rugby. No, I know they are brutal, says Dr. Wheatcrest in there. Yeah, they're scoring a nice try right at the end of the half. Like I mentioned, I believe that is going to be halftime. They decide that they don't need to do the one more set. And halftime in this fixture, Papua New Guinea 6, Canada 6. Well, sorry, Papua New Guinea 8, Canada 6. And also, how you been crazy, NZ, says Sebastian there. So, yeah, round 2 is actually going to be on Sunday morning. So, might get to do that game of PNG versus Brazil, possibly. Hopefully. if there aren't too many overlaps. Oh, actually, no, Sunday mornings no, never mind. Sunday mornings actually when all the big matches are for the autumn internationals, aren't they? So maybe the next one that we will be having will be the Thursday game on the 10th of November, England versus Papua New Guinea. I think that is certainly going to be a game to watch out for as Papua New Guinea. They'll come in as favourites, but if they've got the passion that they did show throughout the first half, we'll see how it goes. And also, rugby league is Papua New Guinea's national sport. I've been good, bro. I hope you have been well, Seb. Says Crazy NZ, and England versus Argentina could be a banger. Yeah, it's going to be a good matchup. You never guess what overlaps with that game. No, it's all right, I think. See, that's the thing. I'm going to have to decide which games I am doing of league and what games I am doing of union. I believe at this stage we've got 2 league games that we are pretty much guaranteed to do. That is Samoa versus Tonga and Papua New Guinea versus England. And then New Zealand versus Fiji is our question mark one. I would like to cover Australia-Lebanon, but it's on at the same time as the All Blacks 15 play the Irish 15. And I would love to see their very first match. And hi, everyone. Did England win earlier? Says Richard. They did indeed. 72 points to 4. They were victorious over Japan. So a very good win for the English. And they'll look to continue building momentum as they head into their next game, which I believe is going to be up against England from what I just read. Okay, Gabrielle Henley's just saying they had a few nerves in that first half that they were trying to shake off, but it wasn't a terrible first half from the Canadians, she has said. And they're hoping to build more momentum. I've just realized that the Champions League is also going on currently. Bayern Leverkusen, they are playing. Same with Atletico Madrid, and then also Liverpool playing Napoli in an hour and a half's time, or in fact 2 hours' time. That's the one that we covered a little bit. I like Papua New Guinea. They don't hold back over Brazil even, says Sebastian. And tight match between England and Japan, says James Cody. England and Japan. Which sport we talking, James? We talking rugby league or rugby union? Maybe. Oh, we're talking rugby union when they play a little bit later on, in fact. Sorry, I've just worked it out. You're talking about in a couple of weeks' time when Japan fly to England and play England. Don't worry, I've got it. I worked it out in the end. Brain was just a little bit slow, wasn't it? I'm looking forward to a rugby league. Hang on, rugby league. Okay, I thought I worked it out, but now I haven't worked it out. Do they play Japan in rugby league? And also, women play snooker now too, as they should be able to. I feel like it's gone are the days of people saying that people shouldn't be able to play a sport due to their gender. At the end of the day, everyone should be able to play any sport that they want to. And from what I've seen, they're playing it pretty well at the moment. And I was like, yes, Sebastian, thanks. And it was sarcasm. England battered Japan. When did England play Japan? Have England played Japan in the rugby league? I must not have done the stream for that stream. Or that match, I guess I should say. My brain went really blank for a second there. So I know that England had a really good win over Greece. It was Brazil, mate, says Sebastian. And there as well. I still know a little bit of Spanish. I know that that's probably irrelevant information, but I guess with Brazil, seemed like a good time to mention it. Bienvenido de nuevo al canal de Kiwi Lads. Also, hola, como você está? I thought it was, you said England versus Japan. And there, so it was England versus Brazil. 72 points to 4 in that game. I may have mispronounced, or not mispronounced. I don't think anyone's ever mispronounced Brazil and pronounced it as Japan. But yeah, I may have misspoke and said Japan rather than England there. But yeah, it was Brazil versus the English. I was just showing the highlights of Samoa versus France. That was a game that was a lot more one-sided than a lot of people were expecting. But Samoa just seemed to go out on the next level. And also, that was beautiful, mate, but Brazilians speak Portuguese. I just realized half of what I said was actually Portuguese as well. The starting part, hola, como você está, was Portuguese. And then I switched it up with Spanish. That was a bit of a mashup, wasn't it? All over the place for this morning. I think it's because I've realized there's another Rugby League World Cup that started up. And we are going to have a whole heap more talking to do over the next little while. But I believe our plan for after this game is actually going to be to go back to sleep for a little bit of time. And then from there, we will end up waking up at about 2 or 3 p.m. in the afternoon, somewhere around there. And England playing rugby league today against Brazil today. That's what I was asking. Says, or played. And there they did indeed. They did manage to get themselves the win, 72 points to 4 over the Brazilians. The more I watch the highlights of Samoa and also Tonga's games, the more I realize that it's a shame that those two have to play in the the quarterfinal, because that's going to be an absolutely huge game of rugby league. The scary thing is it's actually already Wednesday, I think. Yeah, it's Wednesday, which means we've only got a couple days until that match takes place. And also with all the November internationals kicking off for the Union, the Sevens coming up as well, there is going to be a lot to do. I'm hoping to get George round at some stage in the near future so that we can do our filming of one of those matches of the quarterfinals. I feel like it's been enjoyable trying to be Samoa and make their way all the way through the World Cup. The thing is, if they actually ended up winning the World Cup, that would be kind of perfect because we have been doing their journey, I guess you could say, throughout the matches. But who knows? Maybe we could do Papua New Guinea versus England, New Zealand, Fiji. Could be another fun one to play on Rugby League Live 4. They take about 30 minutes to film, about 5 to 10 hours to edit because of all of the censoring. And also we're there in Iraq now too. Crazy, crazy world. I mean, it's probably, like I said before, long overdue for them to be able to. That's good. And also, I'm just wondering, did the kitchen fall on your head last night? You seem confused, says Richard in there. Did the kitchen fall on my head? Did I fall on my head? It's probably a better question, but no, not that I know of. I guess maybe sleep deprivation might be playing a little bit of factor here because at the end of the day, I have only had a couple hours sleep up till this point, so I'll be sleeping later on after this live stream, and that will keep me going for a little bit longer. I believe I'll end up sleeping until the afternoon, but currently they are just showing Tonga versus Cook Islands. I shouldn't have mentioned sleep because now it has decided that I want to yawn. It's actually 18 degrees here, which is quite incredible for this time in the morning. It's supposed to be an absolutely beautiful day. I'm going to have to have a big glass of water before I go to bed because or else then I will probably end up getting very dehydrated when I wake up. We're still working on reverse parking, but we're getting there, says Sebastian as well. I was talking to someone about parking the other day, parallel parking. And I was talking about it for my driving test when I did my restricted, and you have to do the parallel park. First of all, I missed the original one because the guy waited till I was pretty much at the park, and then he was like, oh, could you please do a parallel park there? And I was like, no. And he was like, that's fair enough. Well, he didn't say, nah. I feel like if your driving instructor or your driving inspector says, nah, you probably got a pretty chill one. But yeah, he was like, that's understandable. I did give you like no time at all to try and go in. But then I got to the parallel park place a little bit around the road, and it was the perfect parallel park. Never done a perfect parallel park in my life up till that point. Like, they've always been all right. But literally, if you were to score it out of 100, she was a solid 99. And I think I just sat there. I did want to say to him, that doesn't normally happen. So but you shouldn't say that in a driving test, of course. And your dad pulled down a kitchen last night and you were going to help him after Papua New Guinea match last night, says Richard. So yeah, I did end up helping out. We did end up shifting some of the kitchen and tipping it down at the dump, I believe it was, and also a little bit in the skip, but I avoided getting hit by too much, I think, at that stage. Maybe. That I can think of anyway. I just think way too hard about that. And also, what is your favourite game? Yes, England versus Gede. And there, or England versus Greece, I think that is. I think my favourite game of this whole Rugby League World Cup was probably... it's a tricky one. I would probably say Tonga versus Papua New Guinea, to be honest. I know that there was a bit of controversy scattered throughout that matchup, but I think that was my favourite game just because both sides went out there and really just played hard for the first stage. Papua New Guinea, they showed so much heart in that game. And yesterday in Ireland, 70 degrees, 1st of November, 7 degrees Ireland for you, says James. See, we normally get that kind of region of up and down. Like tomorrow, I'm going to have a look at our weather report while the team's still at halftime. I should mention anyone who is just tuning in now, Papua New Guinea getting themselves the late try in that half, make the score 8 points to 6 in favour of PNG. Oh, we're actually supposed to be very warm over the next week and a half. Weird. So today it is supposed to be 22 degrees. Tomorrow's 20, 19 on Friday, Saturday and Sunday are 16 and 14. So 14 is the coldest day that we've got in a long time in terms of highs, which is good news. And also we're going to get Papua New Guinea versus Tonga with the thumbs up from Sebastian and James. And there is a wind and a rain warning for tonight, says Richard there as well. But yeah, be sure to drink plenty of water, ladies and gentlemen, anyone who is watching. It is currently very early morning in Papua New Guinea, so the support for the sides from PNG is hugely appreciated, I'm sure, by the teams. And also with Papua New Guinea making it through to the men's quarterfinals, they will also be a side that are a very happy team. Not as happy as they would be, though, if their women's side can get themselves the first win ever in a Rugby League World Cup. And also we have got, what else can we make women do, says Dr. Weakrist. I would say anything they want, really. At the end of the day, they are people. I feel like people should be treated like people, you know. That's the Brazilian side there. They're having a bit of a party there by the looks of it. They did get beaten 72 points to 4, but they'll still be happy to be there. I think is the best way of describing it. Like they've said, they got themselves their first ever Rugby League World Cup try. So that is one that they will certainly remember for a long time. 4 a.m. tonight until Wednesday at 9 p.m, says Richard there. And also good, make it help for the SA to train in their psychological advantage, says James Cody there. And also we have good there, tittering on the edge there, says Sebastian there as well. Papua New Guinea just about to make their way back out onto the field. Do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, who's winning this game for after the second 40 minutes, because it's currently close. In fact, it's a lot closer than I think a lot of people would have been anticipating. With the odds saying $12 underdogs for the Canadians, I guess the scoreline makes a little bit of sense. But it's interesting because you can't actually put any money on the Women's Rugby League World Cup once the games start, which I guess is something for people in New Zealand to think about, even though I say always gamble responsibly. But yeah, that is the information that you may want to know, although there's no real money in the next two games, because at the end of the day, France are $81 underdogs. There's a reason for that. And Cook Islands are $61 underdogs. There's a reason for that. Two sides now going to be making their way back out onto the park. We've already seen about 3 or 4 interchanges for both sides throughout the first half. And what channel is the game on in Ireland, says James Cody? Not too sure. I would assume whatever channel they have the Men's Rugby League World Cup on, it is the same channel as that, though. But I'm not too sure what channel that is. Sorry, I'm sure if you do a bit of channel surfing, you may be able to find it scattered somewhere throughout there. Currently, there is a little bit of rain still falling, I believe, for the second half, but nothing too serious. I looks up, but they are just showing the man who is supporting Papua New Guinea. He's on the big screen once again. Now, Canada, they will be kicking off this one. Very true, James. We don't need to do training, says it was Richard there. Halftime, 8 points to 6. Currently, Papua New Guinea, they've got that narrow lead, but I don't know how long for, depending on how fast Canada try and start this second half. And BBC 3, England, James, says Richard there. And also we have a massive indoor facility, though, to train in, says James Cody. So that's very useful for these sides. But yeah, South Africa making a few interesting choices in their starting lineup, I guess you'd say. Probably the biggest one was Cheslin Colby at fullback. Other than that, you'd have to say probably relatively expected. It was always going to be the question of, was it Malcolm Marks or Bongi Umbanambi in the starting lineup, just because they do enjoy finishing a match normally with Marks, but instead they have given him the start. So Bongi's going to have a big job to do off the bench alongside Oxnard and Vincent Koch. It's really weird. I don't know whether or not this is just me, but when I see a lineup for rugby, my brain has got so used to just pretty much knowing it straight away that, like, I have no trouble remembering sides. Boldton still sees Cheslin Colby could be used at flyer. Beautiful run here from Papua New Guinea. Down the wing And within a minute, it's going to be the try for Lisa Maria Lu. Just like that. That is a lot quicker than they scored in the first half. That is a short 12 points to 6. And it's brilliant to have, says Richard. But yeah, Chislin Colby at fly off. I feel like anywhere that man slots in, he would be effective. And yeah, fullback's an interesting one. I'm curious to know what kind of game we see from Chislin Colby, because he could join the line. He could hang back a little bit. I feel like we're going to see a mixture, though. And since he hasn't played since the British and Irish Lions tour for the Springboks, we may see a little bit of rust for Colby, but hopefully does go away relatively quickly. South Africa are going to flatten Sexton, and that will be that, says Dr. Wheatcrest. As long as they do it legally, because the last thing they want to do is end up getting themselves suspended. And I feel like Johnny Sexton, he has that ability to annoy players, to make them want to hit him late or hit him high. And then, unfortunately for him, like, he gets hit. But then, fortunately for him, he just seems to be able to get up. Yes, he might be injured for that game, but he'll be back the next week. And BBC 3 England, James, says Richard there for the option of where to watch the game. It's going to be kicked now. That one's gone over. So that will make the score now 14 points to 6 in favour of Papua New Guinea. So very nicely done at the moment. The referee just having a bit of a chat with one of the players. He went from 3 to 4. So I'm not too sure what that was about, whether or not it was Gusaman or Shelley Long, maybe, that they were looking like. Not like Alatoa, says Sebastian. And there as well. And Hamish, I like the fact that your commentary, your intensity doesn't change and depend on YouTube live watching, says Coding. I say it every time. Whether we have 5 people watching or 500 people watching, it doesn't really change anything for us. I guess the only thing that it changes is how quickly the chat is going throughout the matches. But we're always going to be here doing the live streams. Like, we haven't got that thing of, I guess, because that's the thing. I guess it would be easy to go, oh, we had 10 people watching that live stream. We're not going to do any more of those ones. But it's just not what we do, really. Like, the Bunnings NPC is a perfect example of that. Like, you could have 20 people watching a live stream. Maybe you reach 40 at some point, but we still did a majority of the competition. It's a shame that we missed the final now that I think about it, because then it sounds like that is the reason that I missed it. But yeah, we're going to be here doing the live streams no matter how many people we've got watching. If we have one person watching, as long as they're in the chat and chatting, I feel like we're going to try and make that the best live stream that one person has ever watched. If they're a silent assassin and just sitting there watching, it may be a little bit different. We'll just be able to work on the commentary, which isn't a bad thing either. It's going to be a little bit of a problem there from Papua New Guinea when they were trying to get in that breakdown. I think Karoi held on to it for just a little bit too long after the offload was unsuccessful. And Richard English is Irish. And also, you wish you were not planning to play Johnny. We know we don't need him, says Richard. Now it's going to be the quick dab taken by Canada. They find themselves down by 8 points currently, which could be, it's a decent margin, but it's not enough of one to be able to say that Papua New Guinea is safe at this point of the match. 46 minutes through, going off to the right-hand side now for the Canadians, moving up nicely. It's going to be Pukalis. Oh, she's on top of the Papua New Guinean player. Does play it nicely now to the right-hand side. 30 metres out, another big run from a Kongwu. She came off the bench in the first half and certainly packed a punch. How can an Irish be called English? And there's us, Dr. Wheatcrest. And also we have the yes, I'm Irish. And also, so we'll be the fly half, or who will be the fly half? Ross Byrne, Joey Carberry. And there's Sebastian. Yeah, it's not exactly a game that you don't want to put your best 15 out there on the park for. In fact, has Ireland announced their side yet, or is it tomorrow, I think, actually, that they will be announcing their side? I've kind of answered the own question. Now it's going to be grubbing in behind, too much on it for Canada. 46 metres gained off their 5 tackles, though, so not too bad of a set, but just a little bit of a mistake from Mariu there. Papua New Guinea, they will take the quick tap from 20 metres out from their line. Good attacking run from Shelley Long. She scored a little bit earlier on in the matchup. We've seen 23 missed tackles from Canada, 38 missed tackles from Papua New Guinea, and now we've seen another reset. That looked a little bit too high, but it is still going to be a play on just for now. We don't need to win this game. Personally, send out our C team. Can't be asked to South Africa doing illegal moves to injure our players, says James Cody there. I mean, although South Africa, they certainly, like, both sides don't want to lose this game. I know that it's probably easy to say this game's not one that we really care about, But, like, surely Ireland want to get themselves a big win over South Africa at the start of their tour just to say, you know, we're no longer that side in the past that have been beaten. But that's the thing. Ireland actually have a very good record against South Africa. I believe in the last 9 games, they've won about 5. So they've got a decent shot in this game. It'll just be whether or not they can put it all together. Papua New Guinea, though, trying to put it together here for another try, only 2 meters out from the line here. Looking to the left-hand side. She goes herself. She's going to be held up, though, on her back. And it's going to be the goal line dropout. Sorry, got a little bit greedy there for Ravu. Oh, sorry, not a goal line dropout. What am I on about? It is going to be a 10-meter rollback, even though rollback is not the term that normally is used, now ripped down. Too used to rugby union having the new rules. And it's out tomorrow, but there is talk of saving him. So we will see. That's going to be the try this time for Ravu. She didn't get it down last match. Or she didn't get it down about a minute ago. But now she has been able to do just that. Papua New Guinea get another. And now this game's starting to look a little bit more one-sided, like a lot of people thought that it may be able to. But Ravu does score her first try of the Women's Rugby League World Cup. She went short side again. It just seems to be her favourite move at the moment, is act like you're going to pass and then just go off. And if you lose with a C team, no one cares and questions, says James. I mean, no one questions that you lost, but they should be questioning why you went with a C team up against one of the best sides in the world. Just, you know, like putting out a C team against the top side. Look at New Zealand. They put out a side that people were calling their B team up against Japan, and it almost cost them. And if Japan won, no one was going to be talking about the fact that Japan didn't deserve it because they beat a B team. They were going to be saying, what were New Zealand doing with their selection? And Ireland could borrow some fly halves from England. They seem to have lots of morning. Amy says, Nate, welcome in, mate. Nice early morning start for yourself. Have you been at work, Nate, or have you been just waking up this hour of the morning? Just about to be lined up, though, for the kick. 47 minutes through. And it is unsuccessful. And go Orchid, Papua New Guinea loves you, says Jerry. And there's, welcome in, mate. I hope you are doing very well. Well, Hamish only just made it, missed a bit. But see, it's a close game. The girls aren't too far apart. Nice drive from Papua New Guinea. How's your hay fever? It's actually been very good today. I haven't had to blow my nose once, which is such a difference because the temperature's similar to what it was yesterday morning. I guess we're a little bit earlier in the morning, so maybe that is why. Maybe the pollen hasn't quite decided to wake up yet, but yeah, it's been a lot better today. And hopefully it continues to be better throughout the rest of our live streams that we have got for the weekend, because World Cup is number 1, says Richard, and there as well. Currently at 48 and a half minutes through. England will have to kick this one. Oh, sorry, Canada will have to kick this one off. Kicked off short. Oh, great take. It was the diving catch for Shelley Long. It was like she was out on the boundary. Name her Glenn Phillips. Some people will get that reference. A lot of people will not, though. He did a great diving catch in the first match of the T20 World Cup against Australia. Now, going off to the left-hand side, Papua New Guinea back in position. It will be Elsie Albert. Moves up to the halfway line. Yeah, just showing the replay of that one. Great catch from Papua New Guinea. And the handling seems to have gotten a little bit better in the second half. I would think that it started to dry out a little bit more by the looks of it. The carries, though, Papua New Guinea, they have had just a few more. 114 compared to the 96. And this will be another going off to the left-hand side. Attacking run now for Lisa Marie. Not able to get through this time, but she has already scored herself a try throughout this matchup. It sounds like the crowd are now really trying to get behind Papua New Guinea. VVS as well to stay on her feet. She's been held. As she knows, she's been play-on just for now. Oh, did she hurt herself? No, that was handover. So that is now going to be Canada with the ball 10 meters out from the line. Yep, on Smoko breaks. And Smoko, I guess you could say in some regards as well. A different kind of Smoko. But yeah, hope you have been enjoying work, Nate. It's a rough one, working night shifts, isn't it? Or also, hopefully it is flying by and it's been going very smoothly for you. Now another big run from the Canadians 50 minutes into this contest. Going off to the left. They need to score a try relatively soon, I would say. 12 points difference between these two sides. It's probably going to be, I want to say, almost enough, and smoking affects children, which is why you should use an ashtray, says Sebastian there. And also, what do you think about women doing so much stuff lately, says Dr. Wheatcrest. Interesting question. That's a great charge down from Papua New Guinea, but it's going to be available once again. It wasn't played at, so it's going to be a handover. Big shot from Banu, who just crushes her opposition. And Papua New Guinea will get this ball back on the halfway line. And also, it has been said that in Ireland, we don't want to win the Six Nations because we want to go, or we want to make some mistakes of 2015 and 2018 World Cup, says Richard. Okay. I don't know whether or not the Irish rugby team will be saying the same thing. I don't think they'll be going, we're going to the Six Nations because we want to lose so that we can improve. But, I mean, of course, improving is always a part of the game, and you want to make sure that you are doing it as best as possible. But, yeah, they'll be going and they'll want to win against the Springboks. The guys who are picked out in that lineup will feel that they are certainly capable of getting themselves the win. These ladies are in fine physical form. Love the energy and power. Canada could hang in there. Strong side too, says Ruth. And yeah, the last time these two sides played in a Rugby League World Cup, it was actually Canada who got themselves the victory. Papua New Guinea yet to get themselves a win at a Rugby League World Cup. Papua New Guinea go girls, says Sanitha there. Good tackle made once again. That one was the interchange Kunjil. 34 metres gained for Papua New Guinea. Now going for the kick and behind. It's a bit of a banana punt. It's gone out on the full. And also no children allowed in the warehouse due to heavy machinery, says Nate there. But yeah, just a little bit of a mistake there off the kicking. Straight out of the full. I feel like the comment from the commentator is a very simple one, but an effective one. She said that that was probably not what they wanted. Because I wouldn't think that kicking the ball out on the full would be a tactic that many teams would use in rugby league, unless, of course, there's a penalty. And no worries, Nathan, I spoke to. University corrupted me. Simply couldn't get away from it. A cigarette and a coffee, the students' breakfast. And not that they want to lose, but not keep risking big players when they need to, says Richard there. As well. So Canada actually going to get themselves a penalty now for the rush defence of Papua New Guinea. Just a little bit too early for the Orchids in this matchup. Taking the quick tap. Canada now. If they get themselves a 6-pointer here, they are not out of this game. We've seen 10 errors for both sides throughout the matchup, but I did mention the rain, so it's been a little bit wetter out there than they would have been anticipating. Now going off to the right-hand side. Another nice carry forward from the Canadians. It's going to be Hindley there, the skipper. And I'm a woman liver and burnt my bra decades ago. Whatever men can do, ladies can do just as good. They're able to be free to choose what they want to do sports-wise, says Ruth. Exactly right. And it is absolutely awesome seeing not just a Women's Rugby League World Cup taking place at the moment, but also a Women's Rugby Union World Cup that is also taking place at the same time. Good carry. Canada only a few meters out from the line now. In fact, make that one. She stretches. Oh, close to the line. Last-ditch tackle from Papua New Guinea. And well said, Ruth, says Dr. Wheatcrest, and also Springbok and the Oil Rush fans are going at it because someone's posted Ireland flogging the box. Fireworks, says Nate. And that's the thing. It's like when I said, what was the game that I talked about a while ago? That if I had predicted and it had gone that way, then everyone would have just destroyed me. I think it was actually a game for Samoa that they ended. Oh, yeah, that England versus Samoa game of the Men's Rugby League World Cup. Before playing, if you had predicted for Samoa to get beaten by 50, is that held or is it a double movement? I think it's a double movement. She does have to go back and place this one only 2 meters out from the line now for the Canadians. It's a drop ball by both sides. And the mistake made for Canada. But yeah, if someone before the match was like, Samoa lose by 50, they would have gotten absolutely destroyed. And even if they were right, people still would have said, well, you shouldn't have guessed that score. And also, we're going to ambient no price, says Sebastian. I want women to do everything so I can sit drinking beer and watching sport, says Dr. Wheatcrest. Well, I mean, they're helping you in terms of being able to watch more sport at the moment with the amount of World Cups. That's exactly well said, Ruth, says Richard. And there as well. Ball's gone in for the Orchids. Big run forward from number 17. Was it 17? No, I think that was actually Lisa. No, it was 17. Malawea. Thought it was. Then I questioned myself. Then I unquestioned myself. And we got there in the end. Currently 55 minutes through this game. It's actually been going very quickly. And all good, Sebastian, talking about the other smoke, says Nate. And there as well, nice carry. Papua New Guinea, they'd love to get themselves a few extra points on the board. Now, points differential could be massive for this group. Of course, England are pretty much the side that everyone has confirmed to go through, but it's between Canada and Papua New Guinea as the other side to be able to go. The ball bounces up beautifully, though. The kick behind was classy. Now ball on the inside. Papua New Guinea attacking. One more pass. Oh, it was forward. Oh, it would have been the try of the tournament so far, I would think, for Papua New Guinea. But the mistake, and unfortunately, it just went forward from Reeves. And also keep your concentration on the rugby, says Reeves in there as well. But Reeves, she went for the pass. It was just half an inch forward. The rest of the smoke been doing that before the Siggies, says Sebastian. And there as well, but it would have been the second try of the match for Shelley Long if it had not been a forward pass. Canada, though, it's a little bit of a lifeline for them. They're going to be going off to the left now. Good leg drive. Moving up to 20 metres out from their own line, playing the ball in the opposition 22. Actually, very even at the moment. It's going to be another set restart for the Canadians. Now the big number 3, Petra Woods, getting the legs driving. And yes, madam, says Sebastian, and a says Nate there as well. Looks like an injury for Papua New Guinea. Last thing you want in the first match of a Rugby League World Cup is to get a whole heap of injuries. I can hear that the drums are still going and the instruments at the ground, which is absolutely awesome to hear. So you have Ireland game being shown in New Zealand on Friday. Says Richard, at this stage, it does seem like they are going to have it on Sky Sport, which does mean we should be able to cover that Island Day versus All Blacks 15 matchup. Another good run from number 14, Berg. She has been tremendous throughout this game in terms of her post-contact meters. Moving up to 20 meters out from Papua New Guinea's line. And it looks like Papua New Guinea starting to tire a little bit here. By the looks of it, Canada starting to find a bit more of their mojo. They'll be about $30 underdogs at this point of the game. But I would say for that kind of odd, don't know, it might be worth a crack for the Canadians. Of course, I don't have any money, so I can't bet on anything. The ball bounces. Papua New Guinea do well to clean it up. Wusaman has done very nicely. Papua New Guinea now trying to drive forward. It is going to be Anika Butler. Moves up to 10 now. And also, I should mention, Okongwu has gone off the field. That is for steal. Only 4 interchanges made by the Canadians at this point. So they'll be looking to finish this last 20 minutes with a huge amount of stamina left in their tank. And that will be something that maybe Papua New Guinea try and do as well, although they've had those few injuries, which has made it a little bit more challenging for them. And so I can't watch the girls thanks to the Kiwi lads, says, and it was Nate there. And it's Jad as well. Nice run forward from Elsie Albert. It's going to be 5th and final for Papua New Guinea. Not their biggest set that they've had, only there's 25 metres gained. Now going off to the short side, almost a handling error. Kick downfield, nicely taken there for Fernanda. She will start to run it at the line. She's been unlucky throughout this contest, and Canada scoring next will make it a very interesting finish indeed, says Sebastian. And at the moment, it does seem like they've got some momentum. Oh, another bad injury for Papua New Guinea, unfortunately, although it looks like it may be just cramp. She was stretching out the back of the calf and the hamstring. She's still stretching at Karoi. So I hope she is going to be all right. As like I mentioned, the last thing they want to do is lose players at this stage of the match. Now across the left-hand side. Inside of the 30 meters, trying to get back up to her feet as quickly as possible. Going off to the right. Here, Papua New Guinea, they have to make sure they're digging deep with the defense. It's going to be another penalty against the Papua New Guineans. That one was for the high tackle. It was against Awoi as well. But now, with 20 minutes left on the clock and 10 meters out from the line, Canada, that's close. Oh, Canada have scored as the national anthem would go, and that is going to be brilliantly done from the Canadians. That makes the score a little bit closer, ladies and gentlemen. In this game, like we have mentioned, this is going to be a close finish here. Because if Canada end up getting themselves the 2 points here for the conversion, which they certainly should, but it was Megan Pakulis who was able to score the try and also try to Sebastian, and also let's go the Canada girls, one more try. They have done just that indeed. Do apologise if my Wi-Fi is a little bit rough as well, ladies and gentlemen. I see we are only sitting at 1 bar, so it may be freezing a little bit at times, but hopefully it does come right in a short moment, just like Seb wanted, says Sebastian. So I guess now that we know that try, Seb, who do you want to score the next one? Is it Canada again? Or would you prefer to see Papua New Guinea get themselves a bit more of a lead? And also we'll get the Sebastian, says Roof, and there as well. Now 61 minutes into this one. Danny Fernanda. She has got one over so far, sitting 1 from 1 in the conversion stakes. Has she got another one in the tank? She's taken her mouth guard out. I think she forgot to. About to kick this one over the middle. And that's going to make the score 18 points to 10 in favour of the Canadians. I want a field goal next. There you go. I mean, that would be asking for quite a lot, wouldn't it? But who knows what could happen out there on the park. And also, we get there. GG says, David, also get yourself a lotto ticket, says Richard there. And like they're saying, there's a game on our hands. This could be the closest game of the Rugby League World Cup that we do get to see, which is why it's going to be a very intriguing one. Canada, though, they seem like they've got a little bit more stamina left in the tank, and I actually mentioned about it. They've got 4 players left on the interchange. Papua New Guinea starting to tire, and this is going to be where these ladies are really tested, because if they have to dig deeper than they ever have before on the field to try and get their first ever victory at a Women's Rugby League World Cup, now's the time to do it. And I've already asked them for the lotto numbers, says Nate there. It's going to be stolen by Papua New Guinea. That's exactly what they need. A beautiful step from Malabag. She actually sat a lady down as well in the process. Interchange for the Papua New Guinea side. That is their 5th. John's come on the field. That is for Albert. That is Michelle John, I should say, who is there at number 16. Also, Aoi still out there on the park after the interchange. Now it's going to be Albert inside of the 10 metres. Only 5 out now. Canada going to have to defend for their lives here if they want a chance of winning this game. Now Papua New Guinea, they're in again, and it's going to be the number 12, Ese Banu, who does score the try. She's very happy with that one. I don't think they were stopping her from that close. I've had to go at Lotto, or I've had a go at Lotto before. The amount I won can only be described as F all, says Sebastian there. Yeah. It's one of those ones that if you get lucky early on, then you think it's easy, and then normally that money goes away. Or if you don't get lucky early on, then people go, well, eventually it's going to happen, doesn't it? But yeah. They've set a well-deserved try for Eshe Banu, just not stopped from there. Too quick, too strong for the number 12, and her team were well and truly getting around her. But now 17 minutes left, 10 points, and quick response from the Orchids, and also we get there one more try. Would be so good. Papua New Guinea, watching for Papua New Guinea. Oh, Sunitha, was that put through before or after that try? Out of curiosity, because I feel like it was perfect timing. No, I know, bro. Just give it the number. I'll give you 50-50, says Nate there. And you're always making my day, Kiwi lads. Shaking my world like Led Zeppelin. Canada come to play. They're up there, Hamish. Says Roof, that kick's gone over, and now it's going to make the score 24 points to 12. So they extend their lead to 2 tries once again now, which is a good lead to have. It looks like maybe was Banu making her way off the field now. They may have decided she's had her dash. Nope, she's making her way back to her mark, and she will be continuing a little bit longer in this contest. 64 minutes through this game. Canada need to be the next side to answer back if we want to see a close game here. Are you watching the Island A versus New Zealand 15? I certainly am. And the good news is it doesn't overlap, because like New Zealand 15 are playing at the same time as the All Blacks. And I have no idea whose idea it was to make that happen, but whoever it was, I think might struggle to count to 5. Because there's so many other times that they could have gone with. I play that a lot of daily in South Africa for 3 rand. I would usually get 5 rand from it. Says Bottles of Deal. Likewise, I'm just glad that a piano doesn't fall on my head when I go out of the house. And that's all right when we make the closest match in the both World Cup. I just said that women are cleverer than men, says Richard. And also, I always take number 22. It works, says Ruth there. That's just made me realize I'm almost 23. That's weird, isn't it? And also very good there. I posted it 1 second before the actual try. Wow. Says Sunitha. So yeah, I guess perfect timing, really. Oh, here's a question, Sunitha. Since you've almost unpurposely predicted perfectly, what minute of the game, we're currently 65 through, what minute of the contest do Papua New Guinea get their next try? That's a lot of pressure. Let's see whether or not you can get it. In fact, that's for everyone in the chat. What time do you think the next try for Papua New Guinea is going to be scored if they can get another one? They're very close to the try line currently, but they've been forced into touch, and now Canada will have themselves their set from inside of their own 20-meter line. Papua New Guinea, like they're saying, they need to go for the kick and behind. They just ran out of space on that short side, but this is all about learning for this first matchup. Their next game is going to be up against England. There'll certainly be a lot to learn in that contest. Nice run forward from Hindley there, the skipper. And just to get back to her feet and goes off to the left-hand side now. Whoa, that's a big shot from Banu. Not the woman you want to see jumping at you. Canada score the next try, says Sebastian. And also James is on Virgin Media TV in Ireland, says Richard. Another big shot. Papua New Guinea, their confidence seems to be building as this match is going further and further through. It's not Ireland Day, it's Friday. Wales versus New Zealand is Saturday. Not that game. The New Zealand versus Scotland and the Barbarians versus New Zealand 15. That one rather than the other one. My apologies, I didn't specify. And also, this is like tennis. Ball over the net, back and forwards. And the 69th minute says Crazy NZ could be a decent prediction overall. 35 minutes through now. In Canada, they will be on to the fifth and final. Put back into the pocket and kick downfield from Kulpa. Got a bit of a bounce. Nicely cleaned up by Anika Baker. She hasn't really done too much in this game. I know I've been quite harsh on her because she wasn't able to catch the ball earlier on. But, yeah, she just doesn't seem to have that acceleration that you'd like to have. And, yes, both on Virgin at 70th minute, says Karen there. Okay, so a few minutes away by the looks of my best guess would be on the 70th or 75th minute. Let's wait and see, says Sunitha. Now, currently 67 minutes through this contest, sticking up now. Going off to the left-hand side here for Papua New Guinea. Nice inside ball, finding the hands of Albert, keeping this ball alive for a bit longer. It's going to be now Banu, who just decides to take the contact head on. And also, an excuse for more pints. Richard live around the corner from the RDS, or live around the corner from the RDS, I probably will go to it, says James. And there as well, there's still blood coming out of the head, I believe. Is that still the number 8 Sergeant, or is that a different player who's got a bit of a cut on the forehead? It's kicked downfield from Papua New Guinea. Nicely taken by Canada, though. Kunjil has gone off the field. And that is going to be for Kulpa, who's made her way back out there. And this does not look too good for Papua New Guinea. Okay, Shelley Long. When you're going like this, when you get up to your feet, that's not really what you want to see. And will the All Blacks be named on Friday, New Zealand time? I believe Thursday, New Zealand time is when we are going to get to see the All Black squad announcement. So it's around about, I would say around 12 p.m., somewhere around lunchtime, they'll end up announcing it. And as soon as we know it, we will be putting it up on the channel as well. And also, oh, that's tomorrow. I just realized what day we're on. So yeah, tomorrow at around 12, maybe 2 o'clock in the afternoon at the latest. But I think it's somewhere around there that they will end up announcing it, which seems weird because that is actually in the middle of the night. Now that I think about it, scrap that. It's going to be at a different time because or else then that would be really weird to announce it at like 2 a.m. overseas. So, yeah, no, it might be on Friday morning. You might be right there, Crazy NZ. I just realized it's Wednesday. And me and Rugby Itch are yet to film our video for the All Black squad prediction. Okay, because they're in Wales, I thought the time would be different, says Crazy NZ. And also Canada can hit back Papua New Guinea in 6 minutes, says Ruth. And there as well, right, they are going to be going off for the head injury assessment there. Unfortunately for Shelley Long, she's been good throughout this game. She has been able to score herself a try in this one. One moment, we all go like this. Okay, so they've said that the HIA rules is if she fails this, she misses the next 2 games. All right, I thought, are you near a Wexford? Says Richard. Currently 12 minutes left in the game. Canada now will have their reset. Out of the back, nice run from Petra Woods. Another tackle made there. The head injury assessment means that Aiton's going to be making her way out onto the field, though. Another good tackle being made by Papua New Guinea. Back across to the side here. Once again, it is going to be another attack in play from the Canadians. Moving up to halfway, I do see that Kongwu is back out on the field. That is for Tam. So, Kongwu, she was very good in the first half, putting in some big hits and also running the ball hard at the line. I think this time it is going to be very similar for her. Another short ball. Couple flat passes from Canada. Very close. And be sure to like and subscribe, folks. Most appreciated for tuning in. Says Sebastian there. Yeah, anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We are hoping to do a little bit more of the Women's Rugby League World Cup in the future. Sadly, with the overlaps, we won't be able to cover the games in the round 2. But it is going to be round 3 that we will be back for some more of the women's quarterfinals, or women's matches, I should say. Have you tried smoking guava leaves? Sebastian, good vitamin C. Those girls are giving big hits. Says Ruth, they certainly are. There's been some huge ones out there. Banu has been looking very good throughout this game, although she is now looking a little bit exhausted after playing so hard early on. 69 minutes through, though. I have a holiday home in Rosslea. Where are you? Says James Cody. So the 70th minute could still be on for the try if they do manage to get it right now. Charging forward once again, it's going to be Albert. Good carry. That's 5th and final. So they are now going to be able to use this ball. They might go for the high kick, and they do. Contested in the air. Picked up by Papua New Guinea. And still 5th. I don't know whether or not she realizes it's going to be the handover in the 69th minute. And also, I'm Ball and Dagan James. And I was really going to do the count as my 5 fruit and veggies a day. Says Sebastian, I guess that's the thing. 5's actually quite a bit, isn't it, when you think about it? That was a high tackle. And yep, it is going to be called against, I believe that would have been Aiton, who's actually only just come out onto the field, already given away the early penalty. 24 points to 12. Currently in favour of Papua New Guinea, not sitting too badly for themselves. If Canada score now, though, there's still a chance that we could see a draw possibly on the cards relatively soon. Going off to the left-hand side now, England. Oh, that's a tip tackle. That's going to be hard on the ribs, and boy, that would have hurt, but she's being crushed. But she's all right. She got back up and is still going. Big shot. Kongwu, the 2 biggest ladies out there on the park almost, with Banu and a Kongwu coming together. Going off to the side once again for Canada. Another tackle made by Banu. She has been working hard in this game. I think she's almost woman of the match for myself. Another big run from a Kongwu. That's going to be the set restarts of Papua New Guinea. Their gas tank's going to be tested now as they have to defend once again. Big shot from Banu. Where isn't she? She's made 3 tackles in a row. And she just keeps on going. Now, Canada considering going wide. That's a better move, or else Banu will just keep on absolutely smacking them. Now the tackle made out on the wing by Butler. Now Canada going off to the left. 20 metres out from the line. Now attack and play from the captain. Hindley still thinks that Canada have got a decent chance in this game if they can score relatively soon. This is close to the line. She's short. 5th and final now. It's going to be actually called as held up because she was just over the goal line. So now because of it, it means that they do actually have to go back to the 10-metre line for their 5th and final. They made 37 metres in the process. Now Canada, they have the opportunity with the quick hands. That's short of the line. A little bit of an anticlimactic finish to that set. And Papua New Guinea likes to smash, says Dr. Weakris. They certainly do. Definitely Banu. She's just running through everyone. She's taking some deep breaths, so you can see her there, hands on hips. I think she's deserved a bit of a break after this game, to be honest. She has really put in a brilliant shift throughout this picture. And also we have got there about it being an Ennis Corvey, which I've hopefully pronounced correctly. Now 72 and a half minutes through. Papua New Guinea once again charging forward. Anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We've got plenty more of the Rugby League World Cup coming up, including Papua New Guinea versus England for the men's quarterfinal. We are going to be covering that one on the channel. It's going to be a massive game. Culpa now with a nice carry forward. I've said that many times throughout this match. I feel like I've become a parrot with that saying. It will probably change next week, though. It'll be something else. It does roll off the tongue. Perfect, Hamish, says Richard there. Now, going off Aiton. Gives it off. Papua New Guinea. Handling error there. To go forward or backwards? They have said that it's gone backwards, so they can still hang on to it a little bit longer here, the Orchids. It's fifth and final, though. Only 24 metres gained. Now the kick going across field. That's a different tactic. A little bit of a mistake in the handling department, but Gussaman, unfortunately, another knock on from Anika Butler. She has knocked the ball on about 4 times throughout this match, although I think they're saying that Gussaman was actually the lady who did have the knock on there. Oh, it's a drop ball from the Canadians, and this will be frustrating. A Konkwu straight away, drop ball. It should have been an easy take, but it's just slipped through the hands. And like they're saying, that one, no excuse for it. It's a coach killer in a way. The one that you work so hard to get that reset, to force that knock-on error, and then you do it straight away when you have the ball back. You knock it on yourselves, and then the other side do get the position back. Now going off to the left-hand side. Nice run forward here. Lisa Maria Lou. She's got speed. We're up to the 74th minute, which means, oh no, she's hurt. She's hurt. I hope it's just cramp. No, she says, don't touch it. Okay, so the teammate was trying to touch the calf. I think she thought it was cramp. Good morning, Hamish. I can't stay, but thought I'd say hello, have a good day. Time to get the kids ready for school. And I hope they do enjoy the day and you enjoy yourself, or you enjoy your day too. Shadowhunter NZ. And Papua New Guinea love to hit hard, says Richard there. But Ben Jeffries, they'll be pretty happy with this performance from Papua New Guinea. They're saying they're hoping it's nothing too serious. It looks like there's a little bit of cramp for Canada as well. It looks like she's going to be all right. Yeah. So it is just going to be the cramp. That is great news for Papua New Guinea because they certainly don't want to lose Lisa Maria Lu at this stage of the competition. It's going to be Gwarsaman. Just have her carry forward. Almost a set restart. Conceded there by Canada, but still only up to the second tackle. Albert again crashes at the line, driven backwards. 4 ladies driving her nicely. It's an aggressive tackle being made by the Canadians. Now going off to the left-hand side, though. Nice step running up the middle. Kalpa. It's been prominent throughout the last 10 minutes of this fixture, and we'll be looking to have the same in the last 5. Up to the 4th tackle now. Going off to the left. There are numbers here. All they need to do is get the drawing pass right. She just bulldozes over the top. The referee wants to know if it's a try. It sure is. And in the 75th minute, that was a prediction that I did see. Gwarsaman has been able to score the try. Her first of the Rugby League World Cup for the women's. And also, we really good game, ladies. And also, PNG don't seem to be as fit as England were earlier today, says Richard. And I guess it's just one of those ones as well that as they get further in the competition, we'll start to see the fitness probably improve. But for now, probably been quite some time since we saw the Papua New Guinea women's side in action. So, yeah, there's always going to be a little bit of the fitness questioned, I guess you could say, in 3 World Cups all at once, says Dr. Wheatcrest. Exactly right. So at the moment, in the world of World Cups, we have got the Rugby League World Cup. We have got the Women's World Cup. We have now got the Women's Rugby League World Cup. Also going to have the Wheelchair World Cup and the Cricket World Cup currently going on as well. So theoretically, we've got about 5 different World Cups all taking place at the same time, plus Autumn International, says Dr. Wheatcrest. Exactly right. Which is pretty much the equivalent of enough games to be a World Cup every weekend. And also very good there. Awahu, Papua New Guinea, says Zabala there. So currently 76 minutes through, plus the Football World Cup. Yeah, that is coming up relatively soon as well. Lot of sport on in the world, that is for sure. 3.5 minutes left of the contest, though. Not too long for Papua New Guinea. And we'll be struggling for time to breathe. Yeah. And my voice, I feel like once we start getting into the very, very hectic season, my voice probably won't be able to recover in between days of streaming. That's a decent striker. The ball is just short of line, though. And also, yes, England playing Australian wheelchair tomorrow And also we get the lol, says Dr. Weakrist, and also my guess was not too bad. Says Anitha, yeah, you got to bang on with the 75 minutes through. Very impressive. Oh, do I go double or nothing and ask you whether or not there's going to be another try in the last 3.5 minutes of this fixture? And I'm never getting back to work, says Dr. Weakrist there. It's going to be kicked off by Canada, though. The player of the match is going to be Malawea. Oh, okay. She's done well throughout this game. She's got herself a couple try assists, I believe, throughout this matchup. But I probably would have given it to Ese Banu if I was in charge, because she has put in some big hits. She's been working hard out on the park and just continues to go. Nice run forward from it was Jessica Reeves there. So Papua New Guinea with the 3 minutes left, they'll be looking to get themselves maybe another try, get the point differential up a bit more. And in December, the European Cup is also starting. It is. And then the 7th circuit also kicks in December alongside the BBL. So a lot of stuff going on at the moment in the world of sport. Another good carry. Aiton taken down on the halfway line. Now it's going to be up to the 3rd tackle here for Papua New Guinea, European Cup of what? Says Dr. Weakrist. So the Champions Cup, the rugby side of things. So it's the European Champions Cup and the European Challenge Cup, both taking place. Nice draw and pass down the wing. It is going to be the try here for Anika Butler. Beautifully done. Can't wait for the Champions Cup. Love that competition, says Sebastian. But just like that, Papua New Guinea get themselves another try. And boss, what's the plans for the streams? This weekend, ABs plus Wales, or ABs and Wales plus Samoa and Tonga clashes at the same time, says Nate. So I have already been in chats with my parents. I'm hoping to try and get them to do the first half of Wales versus the All Blacks. It's going to take a lot of convincing, seeing as it is such a late night game, but we will try our best. But yeah, I know that England and Papua New Guinea clashes. I think that is the one that clashes with the All Blacks, Wales, and then England versus Argentina clashes with Samoa versus Tonga. So there's a couple big overlaps that we are working on, but we're gonna hopefully be able to juggle them all the way that we need to, slowly but surely. And Saracens will smash Europe, says Dr. Weakrist. And there as well. Are they smashing in the Champions Cup at the moment? Or not the Champions Cup, in the Gallagher Premiership? Because if they are, then maybe they have got a decent chance. Now it's going to be Vivers once again. She's 1 from 4 tonight, but not too many of the kicks have actually been easy for her throughout this matchup. And also I predicted Papua New Guinea by 32. You did indeed at the start of the live stream. And they are starting to head that way a little bit. As a Quins fan, that's the worst thing I could have read, says Sebastian. There as well. That kick has gone over that time. And now in the 79th minute, 34 points to 12. And oh, by the way, there's talk whilst players are going to buy the club retired players, says Richard. And also, we have got about the Quins fan and didn't allow for Canada scoring, says Peter in there. Yeah, Saracens currently top of the table, 7 from 7 wins in the Premiership. Harlequins and Sale Sharks both just behind them, and Gloucester is in there as well. Interesting that Leicester are way down 3-3, and also Saracens are smashing the Prem, says Dr. Weakrist. It's good, though, that at least they're in the Champions Cup this year rather than the Challenge Cup. Because last year they were only in the Challenge, weren't they? I think that was won by a French side. And also, nice, says Nate. Now only another 40 seconds left on the clock. The crowd are still firing up behind Papua New Guinea here. Another run from Jessica Reeves. And I think Papua New Guinea are the kind of side that will go for an attacking play here right at the end of the game to try and get one last few points on the board. Nice inside ball. Given off to the kick taker. And there's one Vivers up to the 4th. Papua New Guinea up to the halfway line now as well. Albert's going to be taken down. Finds the offload. And I think Papua New Guinea caught them a little bit off guard there by getting that early offload away. 4 seconds left. And this will be... No, they've still got time for one more. And Papua New Guinea, what do they do with it? They're going to go for the massive cross kick. Sitting up for Butler. No, it doesn't go that far. Mistake made from the Canadians. And that will be the game. Or is it? That is the end of the matchup. I think Canada wanted to keep on playing, but Papua New Guinea, for the first time in the club's history, have won a match at a women's Rugby League World Cup. The players are ecstatic. They can't quite believe it, but now the first match is done. The first win is done. Now they should have their eyes feasted firmly on the semi-finals. And cheers for the commentary, mate. Hectic weekend. Be sure to rest well. Big love to you, everyone in the chat. Says Sebastian, right back at you, mate. I do look forward to seeing you this weekend. And Brad and Donna for the AB's game. Let's go. How about Distracted Sports and Rugby Itch? Streaming live, says Nate. And yeah, I think Rugby Itch is going to be assisting us a little bit throughout the weekend as well. That might change when Europe starts. Says Richard and Hamish, do you remember me? Says Tanatane. I certainly do, mate. Hope you are doing very well. Well done, Papua New Guinea. Thanks for streaming. Says Concrete Disability Northern. And then no worries at all, mate. And thank you very much for being here. Anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Well done, Papua New Guinea. Says Boulders and Steel. We will be back with some more of the Women's World Cup. Unfortunately, there is a little bit of a gap between now and our next game. That is just due to the overlaps that we have got from a few of the other sports that we cover. But we will be keeping you updated during those other games, what the scores are in the Women's World Cup matches. By everyone, see you all Friday night or Saturday in New Zealand. Thanks, Hamish. Says Richard, and thank you, lads, for the stream. It's 4:45 a.m. in Papua New Guinea. I will be late for school. Let me sleep 30 minutes. Congratulations for Papua New Guinea girls, says Sanitha. Or Sanitha, sorry. I should say. So hopefully you do enjoy your day at school and aren't too tired after watching the Papua New Guinea and women's side get themselves their first ever victory. Clock is winding down. Less time to make it back. Canada, Papua New Guinea to slide across the line. Easy. Also have cramps after the exertion. Shame. Says it was Ruth. And also, let's go Hamish. Says I almost said Brandon there, but let's go Hamish from Nate with the 100 as well. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all for the next one.